Greetings and salutations, everybody. I'm Andrew from Team Respawn. Today I want to talk a little bit about 343 Industries and how they kind of lost their way being the main Halo developer, and how they kind of lost their way with the fans, how everyone seemed to be anti-343 for a while, and they've really, in the last couple of years, made a massive turnaround, and I think right now 343 is in a really, really good spot to win over all the fans back, to make people really enjoy Halo again, to really make it seem like they actually care, because you can tell 343 definitely cares. And it's not to say they never didn't care. It wasn't like they were like, oh, let's just ruin Halo on purpose. You know, that wasn't their goal. I think they just lost their way with some of the visions that they had for the series. It didn't turn out very well, so now they're doubling back on what fans actually want, and it looks to be fantastic. So I'm going to break down kind of the history of what 343 did, and kind of what they're doing now to win over all the fans back. So 343 Industries was actually founded way back in 2007, and you got to think of the Halo landscape back in 2007. That was when Halo 3 came out. So Microsoft knew 343 Industries was created to take over the reins of Halo. Microsoft did purchase Bungie right around or right before when Halo 1 got announced on the original Xbox. Bungie then said that they no longer want to be doing the Halo stuff. They want to go off and do their own thing. Microsoft released Bungie from being owned for Microsoft to be an independent company again. However, the punishment was that they had to leave Halo behind. So since Bungie left Halo to Microsoft, Microsoft completely owns the Halo IP. They created 343 Industries, which was going to be the sole developer and the main developer to create future Halo games. So it started in 2007 to get ready for Bungie to depart, which happened around 2010. It was right after the release of Halo Reach. So 343 was already getting started while Bungie was still making Halo stuff. So the first thing that 343 did was they made the Halo Waypoint site and that Halo Waypoint app for the 360. This happened in 2009. And then when Halo Reach came out, Bungie was done. And so 343 kind of made some of the DLC packs for Halo Reach. They worked on the Defiant and Anniversary map packs for Halo Reach. And this happened, 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. Then they made Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary on the 360. That came out in 2011, which was the 10-year anniversary of Halo 1. And so you could say that that's their first time making a game, but it was kind of running on top of the original code for Halo 1. And then Halo 4 was their first full game that they did from the ground up, and that released in 2012. MCC came out in 2014, Halo 5 in 2015, Halo Wars 2 in 2017, and they made some Spartan Strike, Spartan Assault, shitty top-down looking games in 2013 and 2014. So that's, 2015 for Spartan Strike. Pardon me. Don't want to piss off the lore people. Anyway, so that's kind of the history of 343. And for a while, Halo was actually a yearly release, and I don't think Microsoft meant to do this on purpose. This is just kind of how it happened. So we actually had two Halo games come out in 2009. We had Halo Wars 1 and Halo 3 ODST. You had Halo Reach in 2010, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary in 2011, Halo 4 in 2012, Spartan Assault in 2013, Master Chief Collection in 2014, and Halo 5 in 2015. And we had nothing last year. In 2016, and then last year we got Halo Wars 2. So right now, Halo's not in a yearly release cycle, which I think is a very good thing. I think taking more time to improve the quality of Halo games is very important. And then I think as 343 envisioned what Halo would look like, they kind of started maybe getting too ambitious or biting off more than they can chew. I don't know what other analogy you can use for this, but I think where they mostly lost all the fans is in two places. It's the art style and the story for Halo. You could argue some of the mechanics as well, but I don't think that's made a big of an impact on the tarnishing of the brand of Halo as the art style and the story did. So I think the art style is where 343 gets most of its criticism. It started in Halo 4 with like this more sharper style armor. I mean, Master Chief got a new armor set in Halo 4. They didn't really explain it very well, but he looks how he looks now. And you could tell that the Marines got kind of a new upgrade, the different Spartans and millions of armor combinations for how all Spartans look. This was really doubled down in Halo 5, and the majority of the community does not like it at all. You see less sighting of Marines, and you see more sighting of Spartans. And I don't think we've seen a single ODST since Halo 3 ODST. So it's been like almost 10 years since we've seen ODSTs in the story of a proper Halo game. I don't know if you want to count Halo Wars 1 or Halo Wars 2, because, I mean, they're kind of top-down. I mean, there are real-time strategy games, but in terms of FPS Halo, I don't remember seeing ODSTs in Halo 4 or Halo 5. And they really wanted to change the spotlight from a very big expanding universe kind of a thing, and I don't know where they've really taken this, to be honest with you. I mean, you can see that they really try to blow up the lore and the universe of Halo, but they've also kind of zeroed in on Master Chief himself and Cortana and their relationship. And so it's just kind of all over the place on how the art style and the story is. For the story, I think Halo 4 was a complete lore treatment to the fans. I mean, I think Halo 4 did a lot of good fan service. I really enjoyed the story for Halo 4 for the most part. It seemed like it was going to set up a really exciting trilogy. You learn more about the Master Chief, in my opinion, than any other Halo game set before it. And you really get an emotional connection between Master Chief and Cortana, and kind of exploring the humanity of Master Chief, because, you know, he says that at the end. He goes, "She told me that once about being a machine," you know, like that kind of stuff going on. But you see the removal of the funny tone or the funny one-liners found in the Bungie era. I mean, there were some times, especially in Halo 2, where there'd be some really funny one-liners either thrown out from Sergeant Johnson or Cortana and Chief snapping at each other or something like that. And that's kind of like completely been removed, and it's become over serious. And I personally, I miss the funny one-liners and stuff, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. But some forgettable characters are introduced. I mean, just absolutely forgettable characters, like Sarah Palmer, Captain Del Rio, the Librarian, and the Didact. I mean, I know they're important to the lore, and the hardcore Halo fans are going to, like, be smashing their keyboards over this, but I think all those characters are immensely forgettable. I mean, I really don't care about any of them. The only new character introduced that I actually do care about is Commander Lasky, because you can tell that he's a genuine good guy, and he wants what's best for the Chief and for humanity at the same time. And sometimes those don't line up, and so he has to make a decision, which is why he let Chief escape in Halo 4, and, you know, all those kinds of things. So I'm not really sure where they were planning on going, and I do know that there's been changes with the writers and the directors in the new Promethean era, or I'm sorry, the Reclaimer era of Halo games. So it's kind of just a big mess. And for me personally, I think my biggest gripe with all of this is the Forerunners and Prometheans as enemies. I think they're awful enemies. And I don't really see a purpose behind them. I mean, I know that they've been awakened and, you know, they just kind of want to kill everything. But I don't really see a big purpose for the Prometheans at all. And they seem like big bullet sponges. And they're not very satisfying to take out. It's just kind of confusing to me. And I really do think for Halo Infinite, this is all going to get fixed and stuff. I mean, Halo 4, it was just like a chore going through some of these levels facing the Prometheans. And Halo 5, it was a good bit better because there's a lot more Covenant sprinkled in there. And the reason why I think the Covenant is so satisfying to fight is because I think the grunts are just hilarious. They have the perfect funny tone in there. And then you have like the elites who are actually kind of in a big group. They could make up some sort of scary force, I guess. And then the hunters are, you know, you got to work together to take out the hunters and stuff. And so I think the Covenant is very satisfying to take out. And the Covenant have a purpose. It's for their religious beliefs. They think that they'll get you know, divine salvation from activating the Halo rings and all that. And I just don't see the point of the Prometheans. And I think having three main factions for multiplayer and all this other stuff is a little confusing for the weapons, because a lot of the weapons are just the same thing over and over again. They just kind of look and act a little different, because like every faction now has a main assault rifle, and every main faction has a sniper rifle and a shotgun and a close range thing and a super weapon like a rocket launcher or something. But that's neither here or there. And I'm not even going to get into Halo 5 story just because I think it was such a train wreck, but I think everyone knows how everyone feels about Halo 5 story. So essentially, all of these things combined, I think, really made fans lose their way with Halo. I think it started a little bit with Halo 4 because people were so confused on such, it's just how much it diverted from what everyone was used to. Because everyone was used to the Bungie art style and all this and all that, and it just completely changed in Halo 4. And I don't think that was a bad thing. I just think people were confused by it and uncertain. And then when the Master Chief Collection came out a couple years later, everyone's like, what the hell is going on here? You have 4 old Halo games that don't even work on new hardware. How is that even possible? And it was broken for years. We're still kind of in that state 4 years later. And then with Halo 5, it was just like, what even is this? So I think it was just kind of 3 strikes and you're out policy happening with the fans. And I do think they've taken the correct step with Halo Wars 2. And this really has to do a little bit with the art style. A lot of people brush off the real-time strategy games in the Halo series, but Halo Wars 2 does feature a combined art style. It has some old and some new, and fans such as myself, I love it. I mean, it's really cool. You get to see some older style, like ODSTs and older style, just everything, really. I mean, you see the old Hornets with the new Scorpions, and you see just a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's really cool to see like Hornets with Mantises and all that, all those units working together. I think it's fantastic. So I think there's more developer dedication to Halo Wars 2 post-release than anything I've seen from 343 or even for Bungie, for that matter. I mean, the developers are in Discords. They show the patch notes to everyone on Waypoint before the patches come out. They take feedback from the fans to change the balance of units and leaders and things of that sort. They support the tournaments. They're very active in responding to tweets, or if you directly at them in Discords, they're very quick to respond, that kind of stuff. So I think it's really, really cool to see the love that 343 is giving to Halo Wars 2. And I've specifically with that game, I've said it before, they don't need to do this. I mean, they could have just said, forget Halo Wars 2, we're done with it, and no one would really be that upset. I mean, I think people would be a little upset at first, but you gotta assume Halo Wars 2 didn't light the world on fire in terms of sales, so if they don't see a return on your investment for the time that they're putting into it, there's really no reason for them to do it at all. So I think what they're just doing is them just doing fan service, and I think it's fantastic. And this is kind of continued with the Master Chief Collection. They actually announced that they would fix it after years of ignoring people on Twitter saying, how come this thing's broken and it's not fixed? And they introduced an insider program to beta test the builds for the Master Chief Collection, which is happening right now. Every couple of weeks or every month or so, they're like, okay, here's a new build for the MCC. Everyone who's in the program can download it and play it, and then there's a survey that gets emailed to you, and you get to talk about how you felt about the beta, what you think should be changed, things of that sort. They're going to modify the playlist, the Master Chief Collection. They will add 4K resolution, HDR, I mean, millions of bug fixes, better matchmaking, playlist adjustments, the ability to choose which individual games you want in the MCC. All that stuff I think is really, really good, and I think that's great. And it's better late than never situation, but I think it's fantastic. 343's been pumping out the Halo books. You're seeing tons of fantastic books. I mean, these books aren't bad at all. They're really good. And, they kind of expand to the lore like all the time. They talk about the Forerunner trilogy style of books on how it really sets up everything that we know about the past in Halo. You see other things talking about current characters like the New Blood and Bad Blood books. You also have books just creating new style of lore like Envoy, and I'm really excited to see what happens with Silent Storm coming out. So you can just tell that 343 really cares about the lore, they care about the fans, and they care about the games. It also seems like 343 has got a great team to work on the new Halo TV show. And I made a video on this in the past, but there's a TV show that got ordered from Showtime with Steven Spielberg's production company, and they're going to be making 10 episodes at least for the first season for Halo, going to be airing on Showtime. And from the people involved in the project, happening behind the scenes, they got some really big names from some other previous big titles that these guys have worked on. I think that the Halo TV show is going to be actually really, really good. I just hope that it doesn't focus on reach. I think that's been done to death. I mean, we've had books, we've had TV shows, or anime shows, whatever you want to call it. We've had a game on it. I mean, I think it's just time to put the reach thing to bed. I think it being set in the Human Covenant War is a very good thing. And I think that they should avoid the Prometheans just to make it less confusing for fans. But I think the final nail in the coffin to people hating on 343 and really bringing people back to life to enjoying Halo again and being stoked for Halo games, bringing more casual people into Halo, is essentially what they just did with the Halo Infinite reveal. I mean, it shows open areas. You see the classic art style kind of mixed with the new art style. I mean, you see Reach kind of looking Marines holding the Halo 5 BR in that reveal. You hear the classic music. You can see the classic helmet that Master Chief was holding in there. I think meshing those art styles is probably the perfect thing to do. Keeping the space open, letting players explore the world of Halo, letting them just kind of get lost in the immersion of the game, I think is fantastic. And you can just tell 343 now cares about its fans. They care about the lore, the story, the art style, the music, and the community. I just think they're doing everything right. And that's really the whole point of the video. That's kind of the only point I was trying to make. Anyways, but let me be clear. I will give them criticism where criticism is due. I mean, Halo 5 story was trash. What they did for the Master Chief Collection, just ignoring it for 4 years, I think is disgraceful. And don't even get me started on the Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike games. I don't know if someone was doing cocaine when they thought of that idea for those games. But nonetheless, it's in the right direction. I think this is very good for fans, and I think you should be excited for it. Post your thoughts in the comments below. Love to hear what you have to say on 343 and Halo. Do you think it's heading in the right direction? Do you think Halo is wasted for eternity or something? Love to hear what you have to say. And if you want to chat with us directly and all the time, be sure to join our Discord. Link to that's in the video description. Love to have you around and have a blast. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Andrew from Team Respawn, and I'll see you next time.